everybody, Susan Finch here, your host for All Volunteer, All Heart from Binky Patrol. And today I'm talking about something that affects every nonprofit, managing your technology and subscriptions efficiently. Many small nonprofits are paying for tools they don't need or missing out on ones that could save them time and money. So I want to take this short January episode to walk through how to audit your tech stack and make smart decisions about your organization's tools. So the first thing I want to talk about, though, is the subscription audit checklist. That means reviewing first all payment sources, your credit cards, payment, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, everything, to make sure that all the information in there is current and that you recognize the charges. So let's talk about some of these subscription audits. Look at things like membership and research tools. That includes generative AI tools. How many accounts are you paying for all of these? Is it a membership you want to continue with and that you have value derived from it? And things such as grant research platforms like GrantStation and Foundation Directory. Is it actually getting you grants? Are you making use of it, or are you just throwing their emails in the trash? If so, don't renew it. That bit of money can make a lot of difference. Professional association memberships, such as chambers of commerce, nonprofit leadership networks, board development resources, volunteer background check services. Are you still using them? Do you need them? Are there alternatives? Let's talk next about digital tools and software. Donor management systems like Donor Perfect and Bloomerang. Volunteer coordination platforms, Sign Up Genius, Volunteer Match. I know Binky Patrol, we use Volunteer Match all the time, and it's worth what we pay for our professional account where we can add more things. And sometimes I'll pay extra to expand the zip code reach for an event or for an opportunity. So you have to weigh those too. Email marketing services, Constant Contact, MailChimp, GetResponse, whatever you're using to send out emails, is it a good value? There are a lot of options out there now, and they're changing all the time. Is there something that'd be easier to use? But that's another topic, is evaluating the use. We're right now looking for recurring charges. Website hosting and domains. Do you have extra domains you're never going to use? You've never promoted, you just bought it because you wanted all the versions of it. That's up to you. You're going to have to weigh those decisions with your board. Online forms and survey tools like SurveyMonkey and Typeform. Do you use them enough, or could you simply send people a link to a Google form or a form on your website and collect the data that way? Cloud storage, Google Drive, Dropbox, iCloud, wherever you're storing things. Do you need all of that, and who has access to it? Virtual meeting subscriptions like Zoom and Teams. Many offer nonprofit discounts. Remember, we talked about many episodes ago, TechSoup.org. Go look and see the offerings. Some of these services are basically free or a greatly reduced rate, at least for the first year, so you can evaluate it and see if it's a fit for you or not. Project management tools, Asana, Monday. There's so many out there. I don't like any of them. I use Slack, and I use that for all my little endeavors and companies and stuff because I bring the same teams in. I just lock them into certain sections. Design tools, Canva Pro, Adobe. I know my real estate friends, they all like Wise Pelican. They're all different tools to create your graphics and postcards and all that type of thing. Are you actually using it enough? I find what happens is every time I get a new volunteer that wants to help me with certain tasks, they have their own favorite tools. And if they're going to do it, I'll get it for them. But if they're not helping me anymore, why am I paying for a tool that I didn't like in the first place? You need to make those decisions too, because those subscriptions add up. And one extra Adobe seat can add up too. Social media scheduling tools, whatever you guys use to do that. How much are they charging? Does it have reporting? Is it still your best choice? Is it still worth the money? Or can you find an alternative? Next, let's go into financial and administrative. Your accounting software. Again, go to TechSoup for QuickBooks Nonprofit to get a better rate. Payment processing fees, PayPal, Stripe. That adds up. And if you're using QuickBooks, oh my gosh, don't accept payments through there or donations through there, because if somebody uses a credit card, you lose so much of the donation. I would use something like Zelle or some of the others that don't charge you a fee. because that gets expensive, or an ACH transfer, something. PayPal gives you a reduced rate, which is nice. But you want to see how much are you spending in those fees. Donor platform fees, such as Network for Good, GoFundMe, and there are a lot of those that companies do where they can let their employees volunteer and find projects. Are you in those? Are there any fees? I have found that most of them don't have a fee, but you still want to check and make sure. Bank account service charges. Go sweet talk your bank into not charging you if you are a 501c3. Credit card annual fees. Stop using any credit card that has an annual fee. Find something less or stop using credit cards for your business. Most nonprofits are just fine if they just use debit card. If you need to float things periodically, all right, but try to avoid the ones that have annual fees. Do you have insurance and liability payments? Do you still need that policy? Is everybody virtual and you're not going anywhere anyway? Evaluate those things too, because that adds up. Sometimes when we have events, people will say, oh, you need to have an insurance rider for this one-day event. Usually I can find a sponsor for that or a member of that organization that if they sign off on it or invite us, like at schools, there's no fee. So look at those options too to save money. Document signing services, if you have a need for things like DocuSign. For my nonprofit, we don't. We just send PDFs back and forth and we can sign them using that and it works fine for what we're doing. It's so rare. The next category, marketing and communications. Event management platforms like Eventbrite. I also, though, I use Facebook for my events, which is free, and then Volunteer Match too. I create events in there, which really helps out a bunch. But stock photo memberships, where are you getting your photos? You can't just Google them, remember, and take photos. Those are not your photos. You need to have the rights to use those photos, or better yet, take your own photos. We don't expect them to be perfect. Maybe you have a volunteer who's a great photographer that can help you at an event. Just make sure you get the rights written down that if that person takes photos and gives them to you, they are yours for as long as you want. So that's that piece of it. Video hosting. Are you using Vimeo or YouTube Premium? Consider the value. Does it need to be a paid subscription? Do you need to download those videos and move them somewhere else for free to a different platform? Then you need to review each service for the monthly versus the annual cost, the number of active users. When was the last time somebody logged in and used it? Maybe you don't even need it. And have you asked them for a nonprofit discount? Sometimes you just have to ask. They tuck those things away. Do you have duplicate services, things that do the same thing and you only really need one? Again, that gets back to who was helping you with it before. That was their favorite tool, but the new person, this is their favorite tool. Let's get rid of those redundancies and save money. Automatic renewals. Do you want to trust that? I do for my website hosting and for my domain registration because I never want those two things to go down. And same with my email through Google, but Google gives nonprofits free email, so I don't have to worry about that. But you want to make sure that you review that because otherwise it renews and then a month later you see it on your statement and go, oh my gosh. And then you're past the time you can say, hey, I didn't want that anymore. Can I have a refund? You don't want to have to go through that whole thing because your time's valuable too. Storage limits. Are you paying for more storage in the cloud? Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can get a discount. Again, TechSoup. And user seat pricing for software. If you're using the Microsoft suite, using the Google suite, how can you save money? Again, Google, free. Consider that. So cost-saving opportunities. Look for free nonprofit alternatives. For tech grants, maybe to help offset these costs. What about bulk or annual payment discounts? About consolidating your services. We just talked about that. Maybe a board member or a volunteer professional can help you offset or bring you online, but careful, you still want it in the name of your nonprofit. You don't want to have to go back if that volunteer leaves, doesn't work for that company anymore, and try and fix all that to put it in your name. So I am always careful about that. But look up Google for nonprofits, look up Microsoft 365 nonprofit. So some common problem areas for nonprofits. Multiple people are paying for the same service. You've forgotten donation platform subscriptions. You have unused volunteer management software. You have too many email marketing seats. Your website plugins that you have to pay for every year are no longer needed. You need to get rid of those and close the account. Just deleting the plugin doesn't do it. You still have to go log into where you got the plugin after you have the license and the email and things associated with the account. And then go and delete it. They make it tough sometimes. Sometimes they make you call them and they'll say, why don't you want our plugin? Like, oh my gosh, can I just get rid of what I don't want? Old cloud storage accounts, if nobody's using them, why pay extra? And duplicate file sharing services. I am not a fan of Dropbox, as I've said many times, because everybody can clog up everybody else's Dropbox account, making it cost more. Switch to Google Drive. If you're a Microsoft kind of environment, leave it there, but don't pay for file sharing services. So here's some caution though. If you're considering new tools and you want to change some tools, check if the current tools already have the feature that you need. Research those nonprofit discounts and grants. Verify it'll integrate with your existing systems and that of the people working with you. They're probably remote. Ensure adequate training resources. What's their customer support like? How can you reach them? Is it easy? Do they understand you? Consider volunteer usability. For some of these platforms like Volunteer Match, you want to make sure it's easy for users to use and find you, or else they're not going to find your opportunity. Check the data export capabilities. Can you export all your data in case you don't want to use that service anymore? And review their privacy and security features. How secure is your data and that of your volunteers in this system? So some best practices to wrap this up. Set your calendar reminder for renewals a week ahead of time and have it remind you every day until it's done. Document login credentials securely, whatever you use to do that. Train your volunteers or have a training library on available tools. When you have volunteers that come and go, but they're doing the same tasks for you, create how-to videos and walk them through it. So all you have to do is let them watch the library and they can jump right in and help you. Use nonprofit technology forums where you can, because probably if you're having an issue, others have too, and they can help you. Share your insights. And on the same hand, be available to also share your insights when people have a question. You got to help out. You can't just take. Look for those tech-savvy board members or volunteers, but be careful what they choose. Make sure that, again, it's something that you've vetted, that everybody could use, that anybody could pick it up, that it has a low onboarding process. And make sure you keep your software updated regularly. Every dollar saved on unnecessary tech is a dollar that goes to your mission. Take time this month to review your subscriptions and tech stack. For Binky Patrol, I'm Susan Finch. Thank you for listening to us. Find us on your favorite podcast apps or go to binkypatrol.org to learn more about how we are changing lives 1 hour and one blanket at a time. Thank you so much.